easy.
Oh my God, yes!
But in order for you guys to truly understand what exactly went down at this wedding, we're going to have to go back to the very beginning where it all started. I somehow crashed a wedding using AI. Now, I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out, okay? At the end of this video, we're literally going to be reacting to the actual raw footage of the wedding and the reactions of everybody who was involved, which includes the groom and the bride and basically everybody in the audience. Now, I did obviously have to get permission from, everybody involved to not only talk about this, but to show the actual footage. So thank you to everybody who was involved, and I'm glad this turned out the way that it did. Now, if you are new here, my name is JJ or Jarrell, and if you don't already know, I run an AI agency where I basically focus on helping both individuals and businesses bring whatever their wildest ideas are to life. But keep in mind, for me, this has basically meant making like AI callers, AI automations, AI advertisements, images, videos, stuff like that. But where I'm going goes a little bit away from what I was used to. But a few weeks ago, all of that went out the window when I basically got a DM from a guy who we'll refer to as the best man. He said it's fine for me to use his name, but I'm just going to call him the best man in this case, okay? Now, the reason why I'm calling him the best man is because he happened to be the best man at a wedding that was going to come up in about 2 to 3 weeks from the time that he sent me this message. Now, if you guys don't already know, I run a free community that's basically dedicated to helping people learn how to use AI. And most of the time in my videos, I'll mention this free community. Now, he obviously came from a YouTube video and he found his way into the free community and then sent me a DM on that platform. I'll try to include whatever parts of the conversation make sense to include on screen here, but the main synopsis is that he came to me and he said he has his best friend's wedding in about 2 to 3 weeks. He didn't have a lot of time and he wanted to make a unique, personalized, special gift. And why he came to me, honestly, I have no clue. All I know is that apparently this random stranger on the internet trusted me to make a gift for a wedding that involved his best friend. He obviously didn't just want something normal and regular. He wanted something that was deeply personal, something that reflected their lives together, something that infused the soul of their friendship, I guess, into the gift itself. The only thing is that he came to me with about 2 weeks left. So what I'm assuming is that all of the time that he might have had to, arrange a different type of gift, he didn't have that time anymore. So he came to me, he came to somebody who he thought could make the best out of a situation where there wasn't much time to do so. Ultimately, what he wanted me to do is he wanted me to make 2 personalized, intricate images that were in the style of a cartoon dedicated to him and his best friend and also his soon-to-be wife. Now, when I heard all of this, listen, I have to be honest, you got to think of things from my point of view, okay? Up until this point, I had only worked with businesses doing, kind of corporate type of stuff like AI callers, emails, automations, business-related stuff. This was my first time ever working with an individual who not only trusted me with something in their personal lives, but a literal wedding at that. So you have to keep in mind, I was a little bit hesitant at first, and I'll put the message up on screen here, but you can kind of see me saying, or you can kind of see my thought process of saying, I love the idea and I'm glad that you trusted me with it, but listen, I'm really busy and this is a really important thing. So if I'm going to go through with this and if you're trusting me with this the way that it seems like you are, I want to make sure that I'm getting it absolutely right. So from there, we had a little bit of a back and forth. I basically made sure that he was 100% committed to this, and by the end of this whole conversation, there was about 2 weeks left until the actual wedding was happening, so we didn't have long. And because I realized how important of an occasion this was and I really didn't want to thing up, I literally told him, I'll make these images for you and I'll make it to the best of my ability. If you don't like it, just don't pay me, okay? Because I don't want to, I'm trying to make the best quality thing that I can, and if it doesn't meet whatever expectations you have, then genuinely don't pay me for something that's this important. So basically from there, me and Mr. Best Man got to work. I asked him a whole bunch of questions. I interrogated him on a bunch of different things that he wanted me to include in these images, such as what the characters look like. He sent me photos of real life that he wanted me to kind of translate into a cartoon style. This included like a setting of a movie theater, it included the characters, a bunch of different elements that he wanted as kind of like inside jokes or Easter eggs, and I kind of put it all together, got to work, cue the montage of me, doing my little hacking thing and prompts and putting everything together, and fast forward about a week and a half, I'm kind of going off memory here, and I had something to present to him. Right now, I realized that I just said a week and a half, but I actually just went back to check to make sure, and it turns out that it was only 4 days. So he messaged me on the 8th of June, he messaged me on the 9th of June, and I had the images sent to him on the 13th of June. So after a bunch of trial and error and actually making sure that everything was in place the way that he wanted it to be in place and making sure that he was absolutely satisfied, it was finally time for me to actually deliver the final versions of the images to him and upscale it and make sure that it's good quality and everything, and basically seal the deal on what would be the images that would turn into gifts for a wedding to literally see the reaction of everybody involved. That includes the bride and the groom. So I basically delivered the best man the final files, and it was was ready for him to basically print on canvas and provide as a gift. And he responded brilliantly. He was really satisfied and he was really happy with them, which obviously was kind of a relief on my behalf because it was my first time ever doing something like this. And so at this part of the story, my last kind of parting words with the best man was basically me kind of saying, listen man, this has been sick and it's a really cool story. I would really love, I mean obviously don't go out of your way, but I'd really love if you could just show me a little video of everybody's reaction if you can. Obviously, like I said, don't go out of your way, but I'd love to see everybody's reaction to the images that I made. Which he basically responded really nicely and basically reassured me that he'll definitely provide me with the link to whatever video that he ends up getting of everybody's reaction. So I was happy with this, and at this point we kind of mutually agreed, cool, our quest together has come to an end, and you know, hopefully the next time we talk it'll be, you know, on a good pretense of how everything went down. So anyway, from there I obviously went back to my regularly scheduled program of dealing with, you know, businesses and mundane tasks to do with AI, and I kind of forgot about this, but I started thinking after a week, 2 weeks had passed, somewhere around that, and I started low-key thinking in my brain, yo, did something not go right? Because at this point, keep in mind, the wedding had happened, the wedding had passed. I believe it was like the 20-something of June, so it was later that month, and the wedding had passed at this point, and I was thinking, yo, did something not go right? Like, did I actually do something wrong? Am I about to get a message saying, yo, I got a bride and a groom who are flying across the world to come after you or something? I don't know, bro. A couple of days passed, you know, a week passed, 2 weeks. I was starting to absolutely tweak out, right? Until I got a message I'm actually going to read out word for word, bar for bar, because I remember reading this and thinking, yo, we've done it, boys. That's it. This is some good shit if I do say so myself. So this is what it said. He said, hey, bro, just wanted to let you know my best friend loved his gifts. If you're interested, I posted the speech on Facebook. The part where I give him the pictures starts at 12:33. So listen, you might think, okay, let me skip to 12:33. Let me watch the actual part where, you know, he gives them the gifts with the images that I created. Nah, I had to watch all this video, and yo, this was one of the sickest experiences. Listen, guys, okay? I just want to say something real quick, okay? I've worked on a bunch of different stuff. I've done my time, you know, in the whole AI online money making arena, and this has to be one of the sickest things that I've worked on, because I watched this whole video. Now obviously I'm not going to show you guys the whole video, but he gave his whole speech and everything, everyone was reacting, whatever, and then after all that, at the end of his speech, the thing that was kind of like the cherry on top to top it all off is where he gives them the gifts that have my images on them. Right, so now my people, it is finally time to show you what the actual video looked like and how everybody responded to what we made together using AI. Alright, so here we go. I'm showing this directly on my website here. As you can see, he left a review and everything. He said, great work. I needed 2 pictures created for my gift as the best man in a wedding. The pictures came out great. I received great and speedy service with excellent customer service skills. My friend also loved his gifts. So this is the video right here, guys. Let's watch it together. Keep in mind, I cut out the whole, you know, start of the speech because I wanted to just show you guys the snippet. Obviously, in case you guys didn't want to watch the, you know, whole thing. So here we go. This is it. That's image number 1. I fast forwarded there just so we can get to image number 2. Now this one, I gotta pause, okay? This one was the sick one. On the wall, it basically says Marvelverse DC because it might be hard for you guys to see that. There's a bunch of Easter eggs. You guys will see it.
This is a picture of us. We are in our 70s here. We're both bald. I'm here right now, so I don't know how to. We're both in our walking things right now. This is the photo at the door waiting. Open the door for it.
He's just going through and explaining everything. And that Tinseltown Theatre, by the way, is the same theatre that they go to in real life. It's basically like a replica. I think the bride is crying a little bit there. And then they notice the Marvelverse DC thing. That's it, boys. That's pretty much it. That's how I used AI to crash a wedding. Thanks for watching. Like the video. I'm out. Bye.